In this video, I'm going to give you pointers for how to make it through buds and become an elite Navy SEAL. To help me with this video, I reached out to two friends in my community that are currently or were Navy SEALs and asked them for their feedback, and then I bounced that off my experiences trying out for Special Forces in the Marine Corps, and we're going to help you make sure you get through this selection. Okay, the very first pointer here is that strength is not unimportant, but it is not the end-all be-all. Endurance is what matters. See, you're going to want to be able to be on your legs for as much time as humanly possible, be able to recover quickly, be able to recover efficiently, be able to recover so that you can continue. It's not a game of how much weight you can lift. It's a game of how long you can stay on your legs and keep moving. Endurance wins. Running wins. Time on your feet and the ability to maintain, just impact over long durations of time without injury will be incredibly important to you. One of the gentlemen I asked said that his very first day of PT at Buds was simply 1,000 jumping jacks. Now that might not sound like a lot right now, but I promise it adds up very quickly, and it will mess up your legs if they're not conditioned for endurance. Number two here is the water. Now, obviously, this is Navy SEALs, so water is no joke, and everyone knows you have to be able to swim, but the swimming is not actually what gets everybody. It's the comfort level in the water. See, a lot of people can swim, and then the moment they get, water in their goggles, or they get screwed with while they're underwater, or they have to hold their breath through, high heart rate situations, and they panic, done, right? And so it's not whether or not you can swim laps and maintain comfort in the water even during stressful or exhausted situations, because that comfort level will ultimately determine success much more than your ability to swim without discomfort. And you got to understand, number three here, that the allure of training, the hype of being at Buds goes away pretty quickly. In fact, it is the instructor's job, one would argue, to make sure you get tired of being there and it wears off as quickly as humanly possible. Because if it's all fun and hype and you're like excited all the time, they don't really get you to the point of quitting. They want to get you to the point where you're not having fun anymore, and they're pretty effective at it. So expect that. It's going to feel different than you think, and that's normal, but you need to be prepared for it, because at some point in this training, it's going to be not what you thought, and you're going to be in your head, and that's when you might tap out. Now, tapping into my other buddy's recommendations here, he said that the secret to Buds is that there is no secret, right? At the end of the day, all the information for how to pass and what these courses entail on some level is available on the internet for you to research, study, and know what you're getting into. That doesn't mean you're going to be prepared for it. So you need to know it, but you also need to be prepared for understanding that that is not, your expectations are not, you sitting in a classroom thinking you know what's going to happen is different than you being in the suck. So his points right off the bat, again, be very disciplined in your training and find a swim buddy. You need to push yourself in the water and get comfortable swimming. And this is going to be arguably easier if you've got somebody to train with, because there are going to be days you don't want to train, and that's a lot easier to push past when you've got an accountability partner. His next point here was that you don't need to be a competitive shooter, scuba diver, or skydiver before going to Buds. They're going to teach you all that crap. So don't focus all your effort on trying to learn how to shoot, move, and communicate. Focus your effort on endurance, fitness, and mental fortitude, because that's what will get you through Buds, and they'll teach you the rest if you make it through Buds. And then he said, very similarly to James, there's no magic to training. It's all about how long you can stay on your feet, stay on your legs while avoiding injury, recovering quickly, and not tapping out. Build strength and muscular endurance and the ability to continue taking a beating on the pavement or in the ground or on the sand or in the water without your legs getting hurt. Be very disciplined and do something uncomfortable every day to get yourself mentally ready for this. Now, obviously, don't hurt yourself in this training, but do learn how to be content in discomfort, because that will be a very key factor. And again, being comfortable in and under the water is incredibly important. This isn't just some dumb self-help book. This is everything I wish I'd known when I first joined the military. So scan the code, click the link in the description, download it for free today, and get yourself on the right path. Now, here's some things to expect once you make it to Buds. You're going to see people who show up to Buds more fit, larger, stronger than you, and that means nothing. Case in point, from my own experience, right? I had people who showed up to the ANS, assessment and selection for MARSOC with me that were arguably looked like they were in much better shape than I, and they got destroyed in the pool because all that muscle didn't float and they just were not a strong swimmer. And so I'm not saying muscle's bad, but it's functional fitness they care about, not being yoked. This isn't the NFL. This isn't the combine. Like, bench press is cool, but it's not what helps you succeed here. Endurance and the ability to run, to swim, to ruck is what matters. And so you're going to see people who look bigger and feel or look more athletic than you, and they're going to tap out, whether it's because they're not here or because they weren't actually ready for this kind of training. Don't let that get to you. In fact, use it as motivation. Look at others quitting as encouragement to you, because you didn't. You're still here. There will be people quitting. You don't want to look at it as, ooh, that could be me. You want to look at it as, good, one less person to compete against. Emulate the teammates and leaders that you want to look up to, right? See who's doing well and what they're crushing and emulate those guys. There'll be plenty of people to commiserate with, but emulate the leaders you want to be like. So the type of SEAL you're going to be is forged at the beginning in buds. So be competitive. Don't be be competitive. And most importantly, don't be a little, right? Don't whine about stuff. Be stoic. Okay, now after you've made it through buds, well, you've never really made it. You should always be learning and improving, right? And I will tell you that this is coming from a gentleman who's been in the SEALs for a long time. Continual process improvement, learning, and becoming better day by day are a hallmark of excellence. It's not that you made it and now you get to rest. Never stop competing. If you don't use it, you lose it. So stay on your edge. Now, yeah, celebrate the wins and enjoy the victory, but then reset and get ready for the next challenge. And then the last pointer here has nothing to do with buds, but is actually great advice. Set up your TSP, which I've got videos on. You can take a look here on how to do that. But set up your TSP, learn the basics of finances, and make sure you're investing at least a little bit of money in your future. Don't punt that can down the road. Set yourself up for success. And if and when you can, buy a house with a VA loan that you can house hack, especially if you're in Coronado in the San Diego area long enough. House hack and start setting yourself up for real success there, whether that's a duplex, triplex, fourplex where you live in one unit, rent the others, or a 4 or 5 bedroom house where you rent bedrooms out to other SEALs and you let them help pay your mortgage while they're getting a discount on rent, and you guys all get to live and train together. Those are great pieces of advice for setting yourself up financially. Got a ton of other information on that. For this video, what I'll tell you is that one of these SEALs asked to remain anonymous because they're still active duty, and the other SEAL is my buddy James Lascara, who runs a community called Elite Investor. And if you're in the Tampa area, he's a rock star real estate agent and developer who runs a very solid investor club called the Elite Investor. They do a monthly meetup or a quarterly meetup. And then he actually helps people learn how to get into real estate and build financial freedom. So check him out. He's a rock star. Now, I hope you found this video helpful on ways to start getting into bud selection. And what I'll tell you is this: YouTube thinks this video right here is going to be worth watching, and you should go check that one out next on your journey.